Thank you all for being here. This is a night where people are actually thinking. I'm observing the human brain in action, and I think we've got a candidate for 2024. I look forward to working on the campaign. There are many things that the left lacks: an understanding of human nature, in particular the difference between the sexes, and the fact that there's only two of them. A sense of the fragility of social order, and as we've recently learned, a sense of irony. Karen Siegemund has been one of our most eloquent defenders of Western civilization. She has warned that the monumental achievements of the West, including the rule of law, the scientific method, and individual freedom, are under threat from an oppositional culture that sees in Western values only oppression and bigotry. So what does the left do? It proves her point by trying to crush her for having affirmed the worth of our cultural inheritance. As we've heard, Karen was a beloved mathematics teacher at Le Lycée Français de Los Angeles, a bilingual school modeled after the rigorous French educational system. But the day after the AFA conference on leftist radicalism, Le Lycée fired her for saying that Western civilization has been an unparalleled force for good. Thank you, Lycée, for providing such a chilling example of the very dogmatism Karen is fighting. But here's a further irony. At a time when feminists obsess about getting more females in the sciences, Karen was, and I'm going to use a word here that I otherwise loathe, a role model for her female students. After graduating from UC San Diego with a degree in applied mathematics, she shipped out with the US Navy to work on anti-submarine technology and sonar systems. Feminists insist that females can only follow in the steps of other females, something that would have perplexed Marie Curie, Golda Meir, and Karen herself. But if it is true, as the feminists maintain, that females need a specifically female role model to aspire to knowledge and discovery, Karen was it. Too bad. She defends the West and so had to go. But Karen has never conformed to the angry feminist template. At the start of one of those Navy voyages, as the crew on her ship was waving at their family members on shore, a Navy officer politely suggested that she temporarily go below deck so that the wives of the sailors would not have to see this gorgeous strawberry blonde scientist with whom their husbands would be sharing close quarters. Did Karen pull a Kirsten Gillibrand and start ranting about the patriarchy and rape culture? No. She recognized the wisdom of the suggestion and, without throwing a tantrum, good-naturedly complied. Today, there would have been a lawsuit for sexual harassment. After 18 years in science, Karen took up the study of international relations and education, where her dissertation on young adult literature, with its current glorification of social dysfunction, prepared her for her current battles. So she took the helm of the AFA in 2016 and raised it to new prominence. Fortunately, the left's censorious instincts often backfire. Karen's efforts to explore the central issues of our time, such as the reinvigoration of national sovereignty in the US and Europe, will now only be redoubled. In the very campaign against her, AFA's supporters have been given clear proof that this organization is succeeding. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome tonight's hero of conscience, and may her courage inspire us long into the future. Thank you. Freedom Alliance is proud to present the Hero of Conscience Award to Karen Siegemund in gratitude for her work as president of the American Freedom Alliance, determinedly defending Western civilization and standing for academic freedom, free speech, and our constitutionally guaranteed individual liberty at the risk of her livelihood. Presented at Hilton Los Angeles Universal, Sunday, August 18th, 2019.
Wow. You know, you think you kind of know what's coming. You know, I kind of helped organize this, and it still doesn't prepare you. It just doesn't. Just as, you know, being attacked by the left, you sort of know at some point it's coming, but still, the knowledge doesn't really prepare you. So it really is an incredible, moving moment and experience, and I echo what Brandon said. I'm normally pretty together. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. These last few months, I found myself on a given day just in the depths of despair. Bill had alluded to this, when you discover how much people either hate you or pretend to hate you. It's an extraordinarily difficult thing, especially when all you've really done is tried to do good. And this, I've discovered people who I liked, who I thought liked me, really didn't. And it really all comes down to being on the wrong side. That quote about Western civilization that you heard was offered as evidence of my bigotry. Because there's literally no other evidence of my bigotry. So, because I'm a conservative, they had to go find something, and that's what they found. And that phrase was proof that I'm a white supremacist, I'm a, you know, all that list of homophobe, you know, all that stuff. And again, I think I'd alluded to this before, that defending Western civilization is a political position. Think about it. That is really weird. But that's the way it is. You ask a leftist what they feel about Western civilization, they'll say, well, it's no better, no worse. Maybe even worse, actually, because, you know, we've called it, whatever, their whole long list of various reasons. How is Western civilization a political thing? And that really gets to, well, I'm completely deviated from my remarks, but it does get to, I think, everyone in this room, we care an awful lot. And as in Bill Becker's video, some choose to fight in the political arena, some through journalism, some through, you know, all different kinds of things, Bill through law. But to me, the place for me to fight is in the culture. That's not to say I only care about the culture, but I think that pushing on the culture is a way to advance the political success. So, and that's where American Freedom Alliance comes in. All of our efforts, we may not say that we're, you know, Republican or even not overtly conservative, but every single position that we've taken is conservative. We care about Western civilization, like I said, conservative. We're against global governance, conservative. We're against radical environmentalism, conservative. We question things, conservative. We think that education ought to be, I know, shock about education, not indoctrination, not all kinds of weird stuff. It should teach. And the media really ought to do its job and actually report. What Don Dix had said is exactly right. They've politicized every single arena, from straws to science to you name it, it's been politicized. And each one of us in this room, I would venture to say, fights in our own way. I was lucky in that when I lost my job, which is still, it's really a shocking thing, you know? I'm not back to school shopping, so there's an upside. But it really is a shock. And to lose your livelihood, and as Heather perfectly said, the irony is just, it's stunning. as an educator who educates and who I am a role model, and all my girl students just absolutely love that. And I would hear from their parents. I know I was. Doesn't matter, because the wrong political stance trumps everything. But when you find that you've lost your job, it's a chilling thing, it's a sickening thing, it's a humiliating thing. The moment where I heard, I really just, like Bill, I wanted to crawl under a rock, but I too recovered, because I think with Bill, with other Bill, with all of us, when we realize we're under attack, some of us decide we've got to fight back. So, again, it really does for me come back to the American Freedom Alliance. When I heard I lost my job, and every day since then, I go through moments of deep despair, fear, the humiliation, but almost once a day, sometimes more often, I feel the love and the outpouring from this community. And I think about people like James Damore and Catherine Engelbrecht, who we honored last year, who when their worlds came crashing down, they didn't have this. I do. So on behalf of all of us who have suffered, and I hear about them all the time, being part of this community, it makes all the difference, and I'm horrified but proud to stand in support of all the rest and all of you whose freedoms are under attack and who we got to fight back. We don't have a choice. Right? There was a quote that I really don't want to, I had all this stuff about my parents, and that's all, I'm infinitely grateful to them. But there was another quote from Brent Bozell, also in the same talk that you saw. Whatever your number one aspiration is, it will never succeed if they succeed. That's why we're here. I couldn't be more blessed to be part of this organization that's working in countless ways to ensure that they do not succeed. Thank you so much.